Hi guys, it's Mrs. Lukowski again, and today for Thursday and Friday we're going to be doing dictation in English. Okay, so it's the same sentences and the same ideas as we did in Spanish, but now in English. Okay, so do you remember what the topic was for the dictado in Spanish? How animals adapt in their habitat. Okay, so taking a look at the 4 picture clues at the top of this document, you can see the polar bear. So who can remember, how does the polar bear adapt to the Arctic weather? Right, he has thick fur to keep him warm. And what about the second photo, the camel? How does the camel adapt to the desert? Correct. He has 2 humps, or jorobas, and inside those humps are water and food that he holds on to in case he can't find any food or water in the desert. All right, the third photo is either the leopard or the cheetah. And how does that animal adapt to the African savanna? Right, so he can camouflage himself in the tall grass. Notice that you can barely see him because the color of his fur and the grass is almost the same. So that way he can hunt without being seen. And lastly, the giraffe. So how does the giraffe adapt to life in the African savanna? Right. It has a tall, long neck so that it can reach the leaves high up in the tops of the trees. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and do the dictation. I'm going to read it through, and I want you to follow with your eyes and read it to yourself in your head. And then after that, I'll read it again, and I want you to read with me. Okay, but just for now, just listen and take a look at what I'm reading. A habitat is the home of an animal. All animals in the world live in habitats. Animals adapt to their habitat to survive. For example, a polar bear has thick fur to keep warm. All right, now you read it with me. Ready? A habitat is the home of an animal. All animals in the world live in habitats. Animals adapt to their habitat to survive. For example, a polar bear has thick fur to keep warm. All right. So, are we now ready to do our dictation? Okay. So I'll read this one more time, and then I'm going to go to the next page and we'll start writing. A habitat is the home of an animal. All animals in the world live in habitats. Animals adapt to their habitat to survive. For example, a polar bear has thick fur to keep warm. Okay, so now I'm going to go down to the next page, and I'm going to give you that first sentence. I'll give you some wait time so that you can write it. And remember, you can always pause the video and finish writing your sentence and then start the video again so you can keep writing. Here we go. Habitat is the home of an animal. Go ahead, you can start writing. A habitat is the home of an animal. A habitat is the home of an animal. All right, you can check yours with mine. A habitat is the home of an animal. Capital A to start the sentence, period at the end. Habitat is a cognate. It is spelled exactly the same in Spanish and English. In Spanish, there is an accent on the first A. In English, there is not. All right. Now remember, English might be a little more difficult and you do not need to fix every word. So why don't we focus on just a couple of the words that are important for this dictation. So for example, habitat is really important. And animal. And what's great about that is that they are both cognates, right? Okay. All right, we ready for our second sentence? Here we go. All animals in the world live in habitats. 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 Okay? So check your sentence with my sentence. So normally in class we would circle some of those words if they were spelled incorrectly and write them above or below. So if you have space on the paper you're writing on, go ahead and do that. If not, you can circle the words and later you can go back and fix them on another sheet of paper. Okay, sentence number 3. Here we go. Animals adapt to their habitat to survive. Animals adapt to their habitat to survive. Animals adapt. Remember the word adapt? Este es un cognado, so es casi igual en español, inglés. Animals adapt to their habitat to survive. Animals adapt to their habitat to survive. Okay. Notice how we keep using the word habitat, right? And adapt. So we know that that's the main idea of our paragraph. Animals adapt to their habitat to survive. All right, last sentence. For example, a polar bear has thick fur to keep warm. For example, a polar bear has thick fur to keep warm. For example, a polar bear has thick fur to keep warm. For example, a polar bear has thick fur to keep warm. So in this sentence, we're going to put a comma after for example. Did you hear me pause when I was reading the sentence? So, for example is introducing a detail. And you put a comma after the word example. And then the detail comes next. For example, a polar bear has thick fur to keep warm. Okay. So check yours with mine. And we already looked at the words habitat and animal because those are cognates, right? The word adapt is a cognate. Adaptar and adapt. And then that other word we were talking about in Spanish, sobrevivir, survive. Survive. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and write a title for our paragraph. So remember, the title should be a clue to what the paragraph is about. Can you think of a good title for this paragraph? So in Spanish we said los animales se adaptan, right? So the animals adapt. So we could write that. Or a main idea of this paragraph is also just animal habitats, right? See how many times habitat is mentioned in the paragraph? So that gives you a clue to what it's about. And remember, in English, all the major words in a title are capitalized. En español, nada más la primera letra del título es mayúscula. So you notice that difference? Okay. All right, guys, great job. So this is the Dictado for Thursday and Friday. So tomorrow when you do it, and you've already practiced it today, you're going to be even better. I can't wait.